also Inupiaq Eskimo. My dad's family is originally from Siberia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now, I mean, before you became Muslim, were there certain tribal customs that your family adhered to or still adhere to today?
Yeah, some of it's tribal and some of it's religious. They were also Russian Orthodox. Alaska was somewhat owned by Russia for a while, so my grandmother was Russian Orthodox, and so my dad still follows that, and there's some native things that they still do that's very cultural that you wouldn't find in like regular Americans.
Right.
So,
So how is it that you came to be Muslim?
I met somebody online that was Muslim. I didn't know anything about it, and I thought, if I ever have a conversation, I'd like to know what I'm talking about if that came up. So I started reading on and off for like 4 years, and then I thought, I should find somebody here because I had questions that I couldn't find in books or online. So I got in touch with someone here, and they put me in touch with a sister, and we talked on and off for like 3 or 4 months. Went to the masjid here a few times, and she came with me. And
So you both became Muslim at the same time?
no.
Okay, all right. And so you talked to people at the masjid?
Yeah, they had classes every Sunday. So I went with all the little kids and sat down. That was fun. But
Right. So you were attending these classes before you became Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay, and how long was it after that that you decided to accept Islam?
Probably like a month and a half. That was in October when I contacted her. They had Ramadan in between that I didn't know about. I was bummed. I was like, I wish I knew about that. I wanted to go, but I didn't know about it. So then in January, I took Shahada, and she came with me.
Okay, and Delicia, tell me how you became Muslim. I mean, I think when your mother first accepted Islam, maybe you didn't accept Islam right away.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I mean,
how did you feel when your mother came and told you she was going to become Muslim?
well, I didn't know anything about it, so I kind of felt like I was questioning our religion before that, and you know, I started.
So let me ask
thinking
you,
a
said
lot.
you were questioning your religion before that. What were the questions you had about your religion before you became Muslim?
I was like, if Jesus is God and stuff like that, you know, like the divinity that Christianity gave to certain figures that really had no right for it. And I was really kind of protesting. I didn't like if she was praying, I'd try to be like subtly loud to distract her, you know. God, I was a terrible person. I feel really bad for that now. But, because I didn't know anything about it, but I also didn't like it. Probably because I didn't know anything about it. But she was very patient. She had both me and my older brother. She had books in the car so that anytime we were driving anywhere, we had something to read about, you know, just here and there. She didn't push it on us at all. She just let us gradually grow into the idea. And she introduced us to a local Muslim family, and I'm good friends with one of their daughters now, and that really helped me, you know, cross over that line to make my decision to become a Muslim. Was the influence that the family had on me.
Alhamdulillah. But sister, let me ask you, your family, I mean your mother and father and your immediate family, what was their reaction when you became
Oh, my
Muslim?
mom was like, that was really fast. I'm like, Mom, 4 years, you think that's fast? That's not really fast. I read about it a lot. And she was like, oh, well, okay. And then my dad was fine. He was pretty cool. One time we were going to a family function, or family friends were there. I can't remember what exactly, but I kept taking my scarf off and putting it on and taking it off and putting it on. And he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know if I should wear this. And he's like, you look fine, just wear it. I'm like, oh, that's nice. So in Native culture, too, women wear scarves.
No, tell me a bit about that. You said in the Native culture, the women wear scarves. This is just part of the traditional dress?
It's mostly older women. Like, it's like the girls my age, they'll dress like any other American girl, but it's more like the more custom-rooted girls from up north in the villages that when they're older, they'll wear it, or older women will
Or
wear
they'll
it.
just tie it
They'll
underneath.
usually just tie it like
Do you guys still visit those areas in the north, in the villages in those places?
sometimes.
So when you go there, I'm just interested in the younger people. When you go there, what kind of questions do they ask you about Islam when you come to them and you're wearing the scarf
Well,
like
most
that?
of the people I see up there are related and they don't really ask anything.
No, because they already.
Yeah.
But do you ever encounter some people who don't know you who ask you some questions?
Usually people ask me if I have cancer
Mm-hmm.
because people also wear scarves if they have cancer from the chemo hair loss. People will ask just basic questions like, oh, why do you wear that? And you have to explain that. And usually people are pretty receptive and they don't like try to talk you out of it or anything. Because, I mean, it's already in the culture. Women already wear it. I'm just a little younger than the people who usually already wear it.
Mm-hmm. And let me ask you, maybe the women you have encountered, what are some of the questions they ask you about Islam, or the most common questions you get asked?
I did run into a friend from high school, and her mom was like, "What are you?" I said, "I'm Muslim." She says, "No, you're Eskimo first." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Eskimo too, but I'm also a Muslim." She's like, "Oh." Usually they're not very confrontational. They won't like...
But what does it mean if somebody say you're Eskimo? I mean, what is it Eskimo? What does it mean to be Eskimo?
Well, there's two main kinds in Alaska. You're either Yupik or Inupiaq, and we're Inupiaq. So we're from like around the Arctic Circle and up.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's coastal, and then there's inland. So we're coastal. So I don't know. It's the language that you speak. It's the food that you eat.
Slang.
Slang.
Slang's a really big part of Native
Yeah.
culture.
Well, it's village talk. So
And did you find when you accepted Islam that there were things from your Islamic culture which conflicted with your ethnic culture?
well, when Alaska was first settled, it was settled by the missionaries. So they brought Christianity here. They didn't have a lot of those beliefs before. There was shamanism, belief in animals and reincarnation.
Reincarnation is still part of the culture too.
Yeah, that's really big. When babies are born, they're usually given an Eskimo name by the person who died
recently.
before. So they think that you're going to get that. So you'll meet people that they'll call them their uncle, but they're like, 5. So they'll get either that respect